I had it muted. And I even have a sticky note here. It says, check your audio. That audio shit fucks me up every time, dude. Well, thank you for telling me. But, so pretty much I was just saying, the questions of the day, I'm tweaking up my my strategy. I know, dude. It happens way more often than I'd like to admit. But I'm just gonna go back to making 3 TikToks a day. Dude, I found a chick that she sends me a text. Here, I'll show you real quick. Actually, I don't even know if you can see it. But anyways, she just sends like one big ass text with 3 links, and she just tells you what to do. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. I don't need to research. I don't need to look at shit. And I just in and out. So I go on TikTok, make my videos, and then peace. What are you up to, man? How's your weekend? You and Angie do anything? What's up? Fucking Halo. Is that Spartan Master GQ over here? The Spartan himself. God. I never would have thought you're the one that still plays Halo. I'll be honest with you. I thought for sure. I thought we all agreed. We're quitting Halo. Dang. Dude, yeah, Hudson, you should stream Halo. Get the anger out, man. Dude, you're chilling by the pool? Hold up. I didn't know you had a pool. I have never once heard, hey, let's hang out at the pool. What are you doing this weekend? Come by the pool. Is it your pool? Like your complex's pool? About to get some grub at Via Maya's. Dang, man, that sounds good as fuck. Han, do you not have a... What days of the week do you work, Adam? Yeah, it's like that. It's all good. I don't just hang out at the outside. Like, I'm not gonna just catch some rays. Oh, you have a non-traditional schedule. That's why I'm never gonna see you on Saturdays. Hudson, did you win today? That's legit though. 3-day weekend? I mean, because if you're already gonna work a fucking 8-hour day, you might as well work a 10-hour day. You're still getting punched in the dick no matter what. You think I think I won 4 out of 5 matches. Dude, that's good. Hell yeah. Dude. So in Destiny, the PvP, it's I'm like okay, right? Like I'll win maybe 70-80%. But in trials, I win like 1 out of like 10 games. It's the sweatiest fucking thing I've ever done. Super duper sweats. Damn, dude. What's the event? I'm trying. I didn't even know there was an event going on, to be honest with you. Let me see if there's anything on it. Oh shit, did co-op come out? Fracture Entrenched Challenges comes to a close. Oh yeah, it ends today. Or it ends tomorrow. Let me look up what these fucking event rewards. What is it, a fucking flashlight on your helmet? $30 tiers of free rewards. Dude, I don't know anything about Halo anymore. I gave up. Adden, are you playing anything these days? Are you still rocking, what's it called? Are you still, I mean, I guess you watch GTA. What are you playing, though? Man, fuck. Alright, let's see what is going on here. Dang. None of this had views. I gotta see what's going on. Alright, and then we'll come here. Oh, dude, I saw that. How is it? I saw it. I was like, shit, man. I was like, I can't even play it because it's not on PC. It's only on PlayStation. It's like a PlayStation exclusive, right? No, I saw like a screen grab or like a video of Last of Us, and I was like, what the fuck? I even sent it to Lucas. I was like, Lucas, I bet you would like this. So good. I have it on my PS5 and playing. That's what I'm saying. It looks really fucking good. Really? I hadn't heard of that. I mean, I'll definitely watch the show. A show. HBO. Oh my gosh. With like Pedro Pascal and everything. Holy shit. It's like a legit ass show. It just got finished filming this last month in June 2022. Interesting. Oh wow, I gotta check that out. Is that why you got the started playing the game, or were you just like kind of they both happen at the same time? Dude, I had no idea he was Chilean. Chaboy. Dude, I'm surprised you didn't go down to South America and see Lucas when he was down. It's like, be like, yo, you're in Peru? Let's just go to Chile real quick. I did not know he was Chilean, though. Nah, the game came out first. Who played the first one, you would probably understand why they made a show about it. One of my favorite storylines all time. No, that's what I think Dre and Pat said in the group thread we have, is that it's like a good ass game. Um, but I thought it was gonna be for PC too, but it's not. It's gonna come out eventually. That's a chill ass evening. That's a chill ass weekend though. Playing a new game. Dude, I was sitting there watching. What were we watching? We're watching something. I was watching something with Melissa on TV, and I really wanted to play Destiny. I really wanted to play video games, and I was like sitting there. I was like, man, like, would you care if I went and played something, or would you care if I watched Twitch? And she kind of like she kind of like got like a little bit like paused for a second, and then I went and watched Twitch for a second, and then I just realized she has nothing else that she wanted to do, and I was like, oh man, I feel guilty now. And so then I just didn't end up playing. But yeah, cool story, right? Yeah, cool. Anyways, so we have my next book is gonna be about. Imagine if she had a baby, dude. There we go. I thought the dog was gonna be enough, man. Can I tell you this dog last night at 12:45, I couldn't sleep. So, okay, this is wild. I had no idea this could happen. So, I'm sitting here, I'm about to start reading. And you know, every night I do my reading for like half an hour, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden, the lights go out and like this whole front area. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I was like, did we trip a circuit? Are we going through all the circuits? It's not a circuit trip. And then we look outside, the entire front, the whole block, front of their house is all dark. And I was like, oh my gosh, this sucks. So like, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do this today, whatever. This is last night. And so, but I guess our AC unit is on whatever whatever the circuit or whatever in the front. And so it was literally hot as fuck inside my house, and I couldn't sleep. And so not only could I not sleep, Keita's sitting here whining all night. And so finally, at like 1 o'clock, she's sitting here like whining. And then I took her out, and she had to go take a shit outside. I was like, this fucking dog, man. She got me. But yeah, the dog does not work like that. I thought it was going to be more, but yeah, if she had a baby, or she like, dude, even if she went and hung out with her friends. Like she had, I'm not even gonna say had friends, right? It's not that she had friends. She has friends. Let's see. So we'll start with the massacre of Cajamarca. Then we will march to Cusco. There's a battle with Quisquis. I should make him a good main character. The Inca had like a badass general that pretty much helped expand the empire until and he was the first person that figured out how to kill this like the Spaniards because they had horses that they had the armor that they couldn't figure out, and Quisquis figured it out. So we have capturing the city after a brief battle with the Inca forces and Quisquis, holding it to the city. Apparently Quisquis. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Hudson, don't you guys have a dog? What did you guys do with the dog when you came up here? Oh, damn. That's that sucks. Not like just because it just sucks you have to pay for that, right? It's just like fuck, man. Dogs, dude, everything, man. It's insane. Until we fuck it up, then you have to pay to get clean air. And then let's see, Gonzo made governor. Was he governor? Regidores. Oh, what? They're made regidores. All right, so then they were both made leaders of Cusco. And then Cusco split into factions. City split into factions between Almagro and Pizarro. Dude, Hudson, I'm not sending the emails anymore. because the only reason I do it for real is because everyone said I was supposed to, right? Like it was like such a thing for so long. And I've done it since day one. I sent out emails. And I'm hoping that if I just send out emails when I have a new release, it'll be a little bit more effective. And people will be like, oh shit, you know, XYZ. And then also, uh, like I said, like, I'm just doing it because everyone said to. And so I was just thinking, like, I'm not really down for that. And I don't like doing it. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'm done with this. And plus, like, I'll be honest with you, my book sales are taking a fucking dumpster dive this month. And so I'm just like, well, if the book sales were doing great, and it's like I can't really point to what it is that's working, I just keep doing what I'm doing. Or if the book sales were growing, right, you just, you know, stay the course. But they're not fucking selling like that, and it's shit that I don't want to do anyways. I'm like, all right, whatever, I ain't doing this. So, like I said, we were talking the other day. That's why I brought it up, just because I was telling you that it's just like the most unengaged group. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm done with that. Maybe just post it in the Discord and work on a Patreon. Well, yeah, and that's what I figure. I figure like if people want to get and like hang out, talk, it's like I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch, and you can sign up for the email list if you want. But and I had the Discord. Maybe I'll just put the Discord in my TikTok and be like, you know, join the Discord, and then see what happens. Adam, you still in here? Are you in the Discord? I think he left. Do you know who I haven't seen him forever is Jericho. Is he still getting on? Have you seen him on Halo or anything? Talking about the posts and stories and stuff. Yeah, but I'm not even gonna do this. I don't think I'm gonna do the stories anymore because like I'm not looking for like a new idea. I know what I'm gonna do now. Like my next books are either going to be like um these historical fiction novels or like indigenous magic. So I don't even need to sit here and like practice making up stories. I'm just cutting off everything, man. I'm like, yo, I'm doubling down. I'm doubling and tripling down on what I one like to do and two what I know what works, aka TikTok and Twitch. Everything else is just passive shit. Like it's passive. Like I still accept emails, right? I'm not closing down my email list, but it's just like a passive thing. Yeah, we'll see. Like I still might change my mind, but this feels like it's like okay, just kind of double down on what you got to do and your shit, and then hopefully, like I even went back to making. I'm not doing my Twitch things on what's it called, TikTok anymore. I don't know. I forget what I said. And then okay, Almagro leaves Cusco and then heads down towards Chile, and then Gonzalo Juan Pizarro, descent. I'll call it the descent into debauchery, while Francisco founds Lima. Oh. Okay, so like, you know how I did three posts a day on TikTok? Well, one of those posts was like a Twitch clip. And so instead of clipping my Twitch and putting that on TikTok, I'll just clip, I'll still clip Twitch, but I'll just leave that for YouTube and for Google search engine, search engine results page. And then TikToks are going to just go all trending sounds. Like they'll all just be for what's it called? To try and get like something viral. Because I'd really want to talk to like a high level streamer, like a really, really popular one, and see how much like TikTok affects them. Like if posting on cross posting on TikTok helps their numbers, or if it's just kind of like they just do it because they should. Because I just think it might be difficult to get people from TikTok onto Twitch. Because Twitch is like, dude, Twitch is such its own unique ecosystem. Where's Benjamin? I haven't seen him streaming in forever. I don't know any streamer who isn't posting clips on. Really? Who comes to your mind when you think of that? Let me look up their shit. That makes sense. Oh, like Shotzi and stuff? Well, I mean, yeah. Let me see here. Shotzi. Oh, yeah. All those thought hot tub streamers. Dude, I can't believe I had to go in and add and allow thought. I was like, that seems like a normal. Like a normal phrase. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should just get like a kiddie pool in here. Me and Keita hanging out. Dude, she would hate that. I think I've gotten one or two licks my entire time I've owned that dog. Yeah, Kai Sinet, I try and follow him, what he does, but just, it's like different, different numbers, you know? And different goals, too. Like, I'm just trying to sell these books. Let's see. Gonzalo and Juan Pizarro looked at their settlements. The Amp Crew? What's the Amp Crew? Is that a thing? Looking for revenue from all their content. Okay. Oh, the people that you were sending the other time, like the other day. You know, it'd be why. Like, could you imagine Michelle gets older and she like sits there and she tells you she wants to be a content creator? That shit would be so funny. Or like, not even maybe not her, but like just I'm saying in general, like it's such a crazy concept to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make content. Like that's my gonna be my shit, you know? It's like, whoa, that's okay. It just feels kind of, it feels so insecure. Hey, fucking men. Hey, I follow. There's a pretty good looking chick I follow. She's in like med school, and she makes that med school content of like being like uh being low sleep or all nighters and stuff like shit like that. Yeah, yeah, same concept. Let's see. Gonzalo Regidores. Not Hernandez, Hernando. Yeah, true. No matter what you're doing, you can be like the content creator in that yeah. I could even be a content creator about taking care of arthritic elderly dogs like Keita over here. And I could have sat here and done like going to the vet, taking her stool sample. Uh let's see. Manco takes Manco Inca's wife. Yupanqui. Manco Inca's wife. And Manco Inca Yupanqui rebels. So Manco Inca rebelled against the Spanish crown or against the Spanish conquistadors because Gonzalo Pizarro demanded slash took slash raped his wife. Now it's also his sister. It's Manco Inca's sister wife. And so I'm just trying to be careful about how I portray that. Especially because I feel like a lot of people who read that are going to be, you know, like have like a bit of a Christian worldview, which, you know, if you raise in the West, almost everyone has a Christian worldview. And so it's going to be immediately, it'll just cast the light differently on the person that I don't want to cast the light on like that, if that makes sense. Like it just makes it almost presents like a shadow. But then again, on the other hand, characters are supposed to kind of have like both light and dark aspects. Like everyone has light and dark aspects, so it might not be the worst thing to um, portray him as kind of this kind of like infallible deity type, and then realize that he also has this shadow side. But then again, even the fact that I think it's a shadow just shows that a Christian worldview. I don't know. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do about that. And then Manco Inca. Oh, I keep downloading the file when I mean to open it in a new tab. I'm not used to having using a PC so much. I ordered a new MacBook though, so that should be fun. My MacBook overheated one time. I was like, fuck this, I'm getting a new one. So I just ordered a new one. Sapa Inca. There's something about the names though, I forget. Like I remember reading that Inca is like a small, like almost like a small portion of them, and the rest of them, like Inca only refers to a small portion. Realm of the four parts. That's what I gotta call it when I'm writing about it. That's gonna be really confusing. Gonzo / realm of the four parts. Inca civilization. So, trying to figure out, because I'm almost positive Inca is only the Inca were only like the elite class, and then the Inca were in charge of everyone else. The Inca civilization. Antecedent, entomology. The Inca referred to their empire as Tawantinsuyu, the four Suyu. Oh, I like that. Better than the four realms. The four Suyu. That sounds cool. Realm of the four Suyu. In Quechua, Tawa is four, and Intin is a suffix naming of a group. So that Tawantin is a quartet, a group of four things taken together. In this case, the four Suyu. Remember, in the end, it's about hope. Hey, fucking men. If we don't have hope, watch this. I'm gonna put that and right next to it. I'm gonna remember that. Remember, in the end, it's about hope. What else do we have in the darkness? Dude, you know, I could start the whole book like that. Because I think I'm gonna start off when they capture I'm gonna start the book when the Spaniards first capture Atahualpa, the Incan emperor, and they held him hostage or whatever, and then he promises to give the room full of gold, blah blah blah. But it can be like starting like the very first line, like is Francisco Pizarro with his like sword held high. It's like, remember, in the end, it's about hope. What else do we have in the darkness? And all the Spaniards are like shouting and cheering, and then they all take their places, and then everything gets quiet, and then the horses are quieted, and they're down the lanes, and there's stone houses, and the Incans abandoned town, and then all of a sudden Atahualpa's carried in on a what the fuck's the word? Oh my gosh, not a throne, like a moving throne. Anyways, he's carried in and he's sitting on there, and they set him down gingerly, and all of a sudden they just rush in, and the Spaniards kill thousands of Incan warriors before they even know what's happening. And all because of that. Remember, in the end, it's about hope. Oh, Parappa, you have you seen Aguirre, the Wrath of God? Have you seen that movie? The one I was talking about? Dude, the whole book is dark as shit. The whole thing is really fun. It's like, it's just dark to darker. That's history, bro. That's hip hop. Oh, okay. Well, in the very end, are you familiar with how it ends? Like in the very end, it's like a Huck Finn type thing where they're going down the river, and then at the very, very end, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead, and Aguirre is talking about he's talking about how he wants to start his pure bloodline, and he creates a kingdom with his daughter, and then all of a sudden he looks around and he says, "Who's with me?" And then it's just like, it's almost like the end of what the fuck movie is that? Like the end of Scarface, where it's like that sounds. It's like wham 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 wham. And it's like it's the boat circling the raft, and then it's like, "Who's with me?" Okay, that's gonna be the last line in my book. It's gonna be like, the guy has his knife to Gonzalo Pizarro's throat, and Gonzalo Pizarro looks around at his fallen men strewn around the room, and he like pushes and he sticks his head up, and he's like, "We're going to take this land back. Who's with me?" And that's the end. And scene. So I already got the ending down. I think I have the beginning, and so now we just got to write the damn thing. Well, I still have to, research it, use all the right words. Can't use Inca. It has to be Kingdom of the Four Parts, but shit like that. That pesque, exactly, dude. Always get in the way. Exactly. I'm about to just put it in a fucking AI text generator. All right. Beginning. Remember, in the end, it's about hope. And then this Wikipedia page. And then, who's with me? We're done. Have you seen that short film written? No. What's that one? Is it the one like in 2016 starring Thomas Middleditch? Like 10 minutes?
This is the moment.
It's not a dream, but I've got a time to stay there.
Well,
Dude, it looks fucking kind of odd.
I still think you could be back on the table.
It's a damn thing scared to say. Nothing is going to be a thing. But I'm the one who got on this rock with a child. And then I left the other two.
I was a boy, I was a stranger, and I promised to be so.
Dude, it literally, listening to this reminds me of like listening to Hamlet. Where like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but I just believe that like, I'm like, I had to just trust that what they're saying is like.
Here comes of the House of Capulet. Coral, I will back thee.
The dialogue is the same to me.
you! No better? Here comes our kinsman. Say better! Yes, sir, but you lie! Draw if you mean man!
All right, I made a reference, a video reference, and I need to just explain because I just saw this episode.
Look at my feet. My feet
I just saw this episode of Bob's Burgers recently.
are straight ahead. You don't want to do that. You want to turn your feet out. And I'm going to do this backwards. And that's what makes it look like hip hop.
Welcome to hip hop dance class with Shelly. See the way I'm walking with one of my arms lower than the other and my foot dragging? Well, that's hip hop.
I went to this club, right? And they had no baggy pants and no sneakers. That was wild. I didn't know what to think about that.
The other day I was in the grocery store buying some light bulbs and ice cream, and I could tell the cashier didn't like my baggy pants. But I didn't care, because that's hip hop.
The more relaxed you are, that's what makes it hip hop.
I bet you normally sit on a chair the front way. Like
So anyways, that's hip hop. Dude, that fucking, I was dying. We just watched it like 2 nights ago, and I was like, what the fuck? Cause that's hip hop. Let's see. Gonzalo escapes. Fernando. Defeat Almagro at the battle. Las Salinas. Anything but Salinas. Almagro. Executed. Condemned. And executed. Questions. I need the questions. Where? What happened to Atahualpa? Realm of the Four Suyu. Last Sapa Inca. Over the course of the Incas conquest and peaceful translation, followed by a large portion. The Quechua name for the empire after the reforms under Pachacuti. And Pachacuti was the 9th Sapa Inca. Was Tawantinsuyu, which can be translated the 4 regions or the 4 united regions. Before the Quechua spelling for it was written, this is Tawantinsuyu. Under the command of Sapa Inca Pachacuti, recognized the kingdom of Cusco into an empire, the Tawantinsuyu. Inca at its head, and 4 provincial governments with strong leaders: Chinchasuyu, Antisuyu, Kuntisuyu, and Kuyasuyu. Got it. There's the four Suyus, and then the Inca, which were part of the city-state of Cusco, were in charge of the four Suyus. Interesting. Okay, I need to research that because I'm going to be sitting here writing about how the like Inca, what I would call Inca people, are thinking about their own kingdom. Right. And then Francisco Pizarro becomes, dang man, this could be a long ass book, no bull, because this already there's like a shit ton that could have happened. Governor of Quito. Okay. Gonzalo had the order to explore the east of Quito to find the trace of heard rumors of a rich native kingdom to the east. Some called it El Dorado, and a land that was called the Land of Cinnamon, País de la Canela. Gonzalo arranged an expedition in Cusco. Whoops, appointed governor of Cusco. Organized expedition in search of gold/cinnamon. Cities. 14, expedition begins. Amazon, let's say expedition stalls. Orellana continues while Pizarro goes back. Orellana eventually goes the length of the Amazon to the Atlantic Ocean. Almagro forces have murdered Francisco. Oh, fucking. Nope. Battle of Chupas. Alright, who killed this dude, though? When the expedition Peru comes to nothing, there about 100 Spanish soldiers, while Francisco Pizarro, the leader of the expedition, went south, capturing the Sacbe Inca at Atahualpa in a surprise attack. Magro returned from the south to Illinois, seized power. Magro imprisoned Hernando Pizarro and his younger brother Gonzalo, but aware that, yes. Eventually defeated at the Battle of Chupas, but where the fuck who's in charge of the Battle of Chupas? Oh, like Carvajal, no one really. But this guy Carvajal was here for the. I should include him. This guy's big guy. Francisco de Carvajal. Damn, man was 80 years old and still fucking fighting people during the Spanish conquest. Right now, roughly just Wikipedia, but there's a lot of gaps. This is just roughly Wikipedia, but there's a lot of gaps. Like there's what's it called? Like these battles, series of battles, there's nothing in them on here. But the book I'm reading, this History of the Conquest of Peru, written by William Prescott. The book right here is like a facsimile of the old book, because the OG book came out in like 1840. Hold on, I'll tell you the exact date. This is very dense. Originally published 1847. And so this is like the definitive, like everyone reads this thing. And so this one is going to be, I mean, it sounds pretty reasonable for like a book this old. Having thus secured the sanction of the executive, the two associates lost no time in fitting out a small vessel with stores and a supply of arms and ammunition, and dispatched it to the island. The unfortunate tenants of this little wilderness, who had now occupied it for 7 months, hardly dared to trust their senses when they descried the white sails of the friendly bark coming over the waters. So it's a little bit dry. But then I also have already read this. I've already read this one, which is The Last Days of the Incas, which is by Kim McQuarrie. And this one's like modern. This is like a modern writing. But this is in this. So I read the new one, and now I want to just go straight back to the source. And so there's a lot more details in the book once I get to the book. And so I just had to, like, once I get everything going and I know what characters, and I know, it's just like the one about Diego de Landa. Like, you just got to sit down and write it. Like, it's not like this confusing beast. It's just like, all right, man, this happened, then this happened, and then this happened. You have access to any of the research engine? Yeah, I have I get on JSTOR, but JSTOR doesn't have... So there's not much about Gonzalo Pizarro on JSTOR. There is some stuff about, there's so when Francisco Pizarro came from, Francisco Pizarro, his two full brothers, 2 half brothers, and his cousin. There's 5 of them, or 4 of them. 4. Francisco, his full brother, 2 half brothers, and then his cousin. There's 5 Pizarros, and then they also have this priest named Vicente Valverde. And so there's a little bit about Valverde, because Valverde was the first bishop of the Catholic Church in Cusco. And so there's some I mean, I'm gonna go in on the fucking Christian mission on the way over here. So, that's a whole nother beast that's gonna go into this, is going to be like the religion aspects. But anything I want, my friend works for the Library of Congress, so anything I really have trouble finding, or if I need access to a book or an article, I just bug her, and I'm just like, hey, can you get me this, or can you get me like a link that works, or whatever it is. So she does help out a lot. Wolfram Alpha Pizarro Insignia. What's this? Yes, exactly. So yeah, Gonzalo, Hernando, Juan. They're missing Gonzalo, and Pedro's his cousin. And he was interesting, Francisco Pizarro, not Gonzalo. But Francisco Pizarro was actually pretty old for a conquistador. He was already in his mid-40s before I think he even got much of anything. Got much of anything going. Zebra, did you see the whisper I sent you? There's a dude that wrote about a book about Elite Dangerous. Dude, there's another detail I'm gonna include in my book. His drip was tough in a dangerous sort of way. Nobody could lie about that. Oh, okay. I just had stumbled upon his Twitch, and I was like, oh shit, he wrote something that Zebra knows about. Bizarro. But they need to... by this time, okay, and then... Amalgaforce murdered Francisco Pizarro, and then... But the problem, see, I might have to lie a little bit. So this is where it comes in. This is where some shit comes in, where I have to make some stuff up. Because, okay, this guy, Diego de Almagro's son, killed Francisco Pizarro. And then eventually, at the Battle of Las Chupas, or Battle of Chupas, I'll write it. Battle of Chupas. Almagro's son killed. At the Battle of Chupas, Francisco de Carvajal, who was Gonzalo Pizarro's friend, ended up like being on this, like fighting with the guy that killed Francisco Pizarro, and they murdered the assassin. But Gonzalo Pizarro wasn't there. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to pretty much lie, and not lie, right? It's a story. It's a fictionalized account. But like part of the fiction in this case is that Gonzalo Pizarro was there, and he was, while while the murderer got killed. Las Chupacabras, exactly. I've murdered Francisco Pizarro. Gonzalo swears revenge. I need something. I need him to do something else really shitty though. See, maybe he kills him without like in cold blood type of thing. Yeah, see, so Zebra, this is all about Francisco Pizarro, but I'm writing about Gonzalo Pizarro because, okay, so long story short, the Inca Emperor and the Spaniards had a tentative kind of truce that as long as the Incan Empire and the Incan Emperor effectively swore fealty to the Spanish crown, they could let them rule the lands and collect taxes from them. But Gonzalo Pizarro, when he was left in charge of the emperor, demanded the emperor's wife for himself, and he raped her. And that's what led to the Incan emperor rebelling, and that's arguably the reason why the Incan Empire lost significance moving forward in comparison to the Spaniards. So there's a very real scenario where if that hadn't happened, they would be kind of the Incan Empire would have continued, and there'd be Quechua spoken and throughout and in Peru, but instead this guy Gonzalo Pizarro kind of ruined it because he took the emperor's wife, the queen. Oh, here's the bad thing he's doing. Hates the new laws protecting indigenous peoples, indigenous rights. Organizes resistance with Carvajal. The rebel army defeated Nunez. Defeat Spanish forces behind instituted by Viceroy, by new Viceroy. Doesn't proclaim himself king despite Carvajal's insistence. So then, new Spanish leader arrives and overturns new laws. This is gonna be interesting though, because there's actually, I'm gonna put in like a bishop that in that portrays the Catholic Church in a positive light, whereas like my last book was just like went in. But they were very different people in very different times. Oh, not times, same time, but very different people. Bartolomé de las Casas. Most of Gonzalo's army deserted him just before the battle. I mean, I just want to, you know, give credit where it's credit's due. It's like as tough as I'm gonna be on the ones that are assholes. It's also like, okay, De las Casas was like notorious because he wrote the new laws, and the new laws were basically protecting the indigenous peoples. Even though the people in charge pretty much just said, "Fuck you guys, we're not doing them," but he tried, you know. So it's like, all right. And I'm pretty sure De las Casas and what's it called? And Diego de Landa knew each other. I just looked up if Diego de Landa and De las Casas ever met. It says they said there's a chance, but it's unlikely. Very interesting. This family it overturns new laws. Pizarro's army deserts him. Gonzalo surrenders and is beheaded. Quote, "Who's with me?" The Battle of Haquihahuana. Gathered supporters opposed. Viceroy around in Lima. Oh, so the new viceroy convinced Pizarro's officers to switch sides. Interesting. Science fiction, Destiny and Halo. I am working on an outline right now. So this is historical fiction. There's going to be much more like magical realism. If you scroll down, you'll see another book I have called "Where They Burn Books, They Also Burn People." That one is about the Catholic priest that came and tried to convert the Maya. And so this is about the conquistador who tagged along with his older brother and tried to convert the Inca, or tried to subjugate the Inca. I've thought about writing a Destiny book and being like, "Hey Bungie, what's good? I have a fuck ton of books already written. I have this outline for a Destiny book. What do you say?" But so, yep, just chilling, writing the outline for this one. There's a lot of information that's going to go into this one though. Like, it's Gonzalo Pizarro, he was a busy ass dude. Put it that way. Really attached to authors like Wells, Asimov, and even. Well, hey man, no shit. These are like the all-time greats. Please, by all means, do it. The lore is so extensive. It would be such a fun sim. Dude, I know. I mean, I imagine just from hearing you talk, you're familiar with the background and how in depth Destiny is, and so they have all these little lore, these like lore snippets that you can access, and they have all the guns have. There's just so much to do with it, and so just creating a story and putting it in a novel version that's like a fun, engaging space fantasy type of story, I think would be so fucking fun. And I really just want to just talk to Bungie and be like, hey guys, like you just say that I'm like the like, just give me the stamp, just be like Bungie approved Destiny author, and then get the book out there, and then it's just like I don't even need much else, right? But I have to get this book done before I can think about that one. Because that one's going to involve publishers and Bungie. It's not just me writing a book, so it's a little bit more. What book have you read lately, Akit? I mean, I've been since you had to collect lore cards by patrolling empty. Shit, you're OG. So you know for sure. Yeah, so this book I'm writing is a little bit more about kind of indigenous awareness and awareness of the Spanish conquest, and I kind of I just want the full scope of the death to be acknowledged. I think in terms of how many people were killed as a result of Columbus discovering America, I think it's something like just this absolute unfathomable magnitude of people died because of it. And so it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna pick almost like isolated villains, and then write their stories and just raise awareness about these almost like these villains of history. I'm just broaching science fiction as a greater genre now. Most recent complete series was Ringworld. Oh, dude, I've never read Ringworld. Using science fiction backdrop for several music projects. Yeah, well, I mean, you're picking the heavy hitters. You're the heavy hitters of the science fiction world, so you are on the right path. I'm trying to think, what is the last science fiction I've read? Because I'm reading a fantasy. I have another fantasy on my Kindle. There's one book that I always think about. It's called The Dreaming Void by Peter. Is it Peter? Dreaming Void. Peter Franklin? I was gonna say Peter Frampton. Oh, Peter Hamilton. But that's a really good one too. The Dreaming Void. If you like that kind of the hard science fiction, and you like, what is it? Like you mentioned Asimov as well. How long have you been? This particular book, let's see. I'll tell you right now, because I remember when I thought of it. Coming up on 3 weeks ago. Okay, one thing, I write really quickly, and I get into it fairly quickly. So this timeline and major characters and research, this will go on like this timeline is going to be will take probably another week or two, and then I need to have like more of a feeling about how the Incan Empire and the Incan Emperor thought about their own world, so it's all going to be in English, right? I'm not going to pretend to learn Quechua or anything, but for example, the Inca Empire didn't consider themselves the Incan Empire. They called it the realm of 4 parts, or like the Tawantinsuyu, which is there's 4 parts, and all these 4 parts meet in Cusco. And the Inca were in charge of Cusco. And so it's almost like this kind of elite nobility type of thing, where the Inca in charge of these 4 giant realms of people, but we just call it the Incan Empire now. And so I need to think and find out these little nuggets of information about the empire and about the way that they thought of it, so that I can kind of write an accurate depiction of the way it would have been. Found it. Description is discussing the metaphysical aspect of consciousness on the basis of it being a web. Yeah, dude, it's really good. No, the Dreaming Void. I enjoyed it a lot. What kind of music projects you got going on? I'm trying to see the last really hard science fiction books I've read, because a lot of them have been this kind of mix of science fiction and fantasy. Whoa, okay. So what I thought of as a vast singular entity was really a state like the Roman Empire governing satellite states. All roads. Yes, exactly. But this is also like, I need these kind of details, and that's a really good explanation. That's a good way to think about it, because the Roman Empire, it's just the Romans were this tiny little group, but then they just controlled all these people, and a lot of the times it was, they would accept, almost like they would just accept taxes instead of actual conquest. And so there wasn't this, it was very, very similar. I'm very glad you said that, because I hadn't drawn that connection yet. Oh, I read Supernova Era. Speaker for the Dead. I read that one. That was pretty good. That was Orson Scott Card. That's Ender's Game, like number 2. Snow Crash. I mean, dude, if you're on a classic science fiction kick, check out Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. And you could also read Seven Eves. That's also a really good one. A duo project with another artist, very 90s nostalgia based. My current solo project is all about retrofuturism and the impact new developments will have in the long run, but looked at through the lens of people in the 1930s/40s, an ancient future. Okay, that's cool. How do you guys? So I'm a very much a solo kind of project kind of guy. And again, I'm not opposed to anything else. I just end up, doing solo type shit. How did you find your project? How did you find the person that you're doing the project with? Oh, Akyat, if you haven't read Ender's Game, Speaker for the Dead, and then the Ender's Shadow, oh my goodness. Imperialist culture is really fascinating in a disturbing way. Starship Troopers hooked me for that reason. I could see that. Yeah. I'm just curious how you found your artist counterpart for your project. Jacqui. I don't know if it's Jacqui or Hakwi How. Jacqui Jahuana. Or Hakwi. I would probably say. No, it doesn't. Jahuana. Honestly, I'm much the same. I've had so many collabs fall through that I've essentially given up on working with other people. Hey man, at least you can be honest that you're an odd duck. It'd be worse if you were just like, what the fuck's wrong with everyone? In 1958, 1948. Where did this guy get? Carvajal got killed in the battle. Been at the sack of Rome. Dude, that one dude that I told you was doing his was still fighting in his 80s. He was in the sack of Rome also. So he had been at the sack of Rome in 1527 by the troops of Charles V. And then he also was in Peru. Wow. He was executed, and he literally, all he said was, they can only kill me. That's fucking dope. His style just fits like a puzzle piece. One of those where you don't realize it's missing until you see it. Oh, well, that's awesome. I'm very happy. For some reason, our workload is clicking away that writing with them is effortless, more having fun than worrying about the way tiny links in the chain connect to each other. I still just passing projects back and forth. And then want to make something the other resulting project got picked up by Funk, The Void, same record level with Zappa, and we decided we had to keep going because of that. Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, just, but even knowing that there's this guy, right? Like that this gentleman was in, like, I could write, like, if I, you know, I'm not even sold on it being 100% about Gonzalo Pizarro, though I kind of am. But just because he was such a dick to the indigenous peoples, like, that's my big bedbug, is like the Maya, the Inca, like trying to just raise awareness about how they got fucked over in the pages of history. But this guy, he's sitting here in the sack of Rome during Charles, the Holy Roman Emperor's. I'm trying to see what the thing was, what the war was. Well, anyways, he sacked Rome, and then he ended up across the ocean fighting for Spanish conquistadors. And he's 80 years old, and he finally got captured when he was over 80 years old in a battle. But the problem was the battle he got caught in was they were rebelling because the Spanish crown instituted what's called the new laws, which were pretty much protected indigenous rights. And so this guy Carvajal and Gonzalo Pizarro, who I'm writing the book about, they rebelled against the viceroy in Peru, who was there on behalf of the Spanish crown, and pretty much went to war because they want to be able to treat the indigenous people however they want, aka like fucking animals, and terribly. Tell me about this work, more about this work in depth. What inspired you to write about this era? Any rabbit holes that led to this point? Yes, actually. So, what I was saying. Oh, thanks for following, buddy. Thank you. So, like I was saying before, or if you scroll down, this is my first book. Okay, so this is called "Where They Burn Books, They Also Burn People." This is about, there's a Catholic priest, a Jesuit friar named Diego de Landa, and in 1549 he landed in the Yucatan Peninsula, and he was like this kind of, he was really, really good at learning the Mayan language. He became their friend, and he really kind of spearheaded the charge of converting the Maya and also protecting the Maya from the Spanish colonists, the encomenderos. Well, when he found out that they were still worshiping their idols, there's some jaguar gods, there's some I'm not too familiar with, well, no one's really familiar with the ancient religion because all the books got burned. Well, when he found out that they were still worshiping their old gods, he pretty much went on an unsanctioned inquisition, and he tortured over like a course of a week. He tortured like hundreds of people, and the rules of the Inquisition were you cannot pierce the skin. And so what he did was he tied their arms behind their back and then hoisted them up until their shoulders ripped out and hung them there. And so it didn't technically pierce the skin. They just had destroyed their shoulders. And they would tie rocks to their feet. And so they were just, pretty much completely wrecked. And after his Inquisition, he gathered everyone into town square in Mani, and he burned all of the Mayan books. And so these books were on not papyrus. They were on there's a fig. It's like a fig tree relative that they wrote their works on, and he burned everything he could get his hands on. And so there's only 4 that exist out of. There are reports that there's anywhere from 50 to 100 to hundreds of the books, and the fire it had a lot of their artifacts and a lot of their culture and history all within these books, all within their a lot of their culture, all got burned in this gigantic fire in 1562. So when the church found out about this unsanctioned there's a point to all this. I'm sorry, I'll get to the point in a second, but just history lesson real quick. So when the church found out about this unsanctioned Inquisition, they brought him back to Spain. He stood trial. When he was waiting a trial, he wrote down everything he could about the Maya, saying how he was helping preserve their culture, even though he's the one who destroyed it. Or destroyed everything. The Maya are still there. They still exist. There's still a thriving culture of Maya down in Merida and the Yucatan Peninsula, but he tried his best to destroy it. And he destroyed a lot of their artifacts, and including their books. And so he went on trial, but because he wrote that document, this book, about everything he could think of about the Maya people, they released him and made him bishop later. And so it's like not even like this kind of Inquisition. It's like this full-blown, unsanctioned, he had no authority to do this Inquisition at all, and yet he did it, and then not only did he get away with it, he became bishop. Okay. So what happened was, and this is sad, but it doesn't have to be. I'm not sad about it. It's just the way it happened. My grandmother passed away from COVID, and she is indigenous. She's full indigenous. And so when she had passed away, I decided to do some research into kind of where she came from and the Mayan history. And that's when I realized, why can't I find out more information? Where can I was looking up, where can I see some Mayan sculptures or some Mayan books, because they had this Mayan writing, right? So I wanted to look up where I could see these things myself, and I can't because this guy destroyed them all. So I was kind of upset that I hadn't heard about this guy at all, because it seems to me like he's this gigantic kind of villain in Yucatan, Mexico, Mayan history. And so I decided to write this book about him and about him pretty much. And so it literally covers his arrival in 1549 through the book burning event in 1562, and then also discusses the modern day implications. So there's a kind of a parallel story that takes place in modern days that is kind of shows the devouring nature of obsessive love. And so it's been well received. And so my hope was that it was obvious that these kinds of all-consuming passions are very dangerous and they will burn. So, okay, that's where the initial interest in Christianity during the Spanish conquest in the Americas came from. And then I was about to go to Machu Picchu for research for a sequel of mine about a fantasy book I have about indigenous magic. Well, that research trip, Delta canceled my flight on 3 weeks ago now. And so on the way back, I was pretty upset and I was trying to think, like, what am I going to write now? What am I going to write now? And then I was like, well, I've written a history book about a villain before. Let's just do it again. Let's just find another one. And I already knew about Gonzalo Pizarro. It was like that he had done this stuff. And so I was like, wait a minute. Why don't I just write about his story, tell him how he fucked over kind of everything, and then ruined the truce between the Inca Empire and the Spanish Empire and the Spanish conquistadors. And so that's where we are. That's why we're here. So that's the kind of rabbit holes that I got into writing. And so like even like this book, it's called History of the Conquest of Peru. It came out 1847. And so this is like a little bit like more of the drier research material, but I'm just kind of, you know, chewing through the research material, getting a handle on the characters, getting a handle on the timelines and the important events, and then kind of with those things, with the important events in like as my stars, then I can kind of fit in the relations. Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, dude, I could talk about this shit all day. So you are most welcome. The first one I would resources you can use for your own research. Here, I'll send you a link. This is the easiest book I have that you can it's the book is big, but if you're good at audio, if you listen to audiobooks at all, then it's not too bad. It's called The Last Days of the Incas. Oh, that's a long. I don't know why this link is so long. There we go. So this is a pretty solid, this is like the most approachable book I have read so far in my research. It's clear, concise, well written, and most importantly, it has an audiobook. So it's pretty dense. Not like this. But the audiobook is good. And then if you're interested a little bit, if you want to take a little bit bigger view, that's not specifically about the Inca Empire or not specifically about the Mayan Empire, then you can check out this book. Sorry, they're all going to be books just because that's how I do everything. And then lastly, I mean, if you wanted, I mean, you could read my book. It's pretty well received. We've got a lot of a big community on TikTok. Good bit of reviews on there. So feel free to scroll down and check out my book as well. The audiobook's coming by the end of the year if you wanted to wait for the audiobook. So that is all available. Nice. Okay, cool. Awesome. So are you writing anything or writing music is your jam? Man, that 80-year-old warrior, apparently he refused confession from the priests and didn't accept his last rites. And he said, "But what use would that be? I have nothing that lies heavy on my conscience, unless it be, indeed, the debt of half a real to a shopkeeper in Seville, which I forgot to pay before leaving the country." I'm not worried about how long it takes me to break down and understand a piece of text, just that it's accurate where history is concerned. Anything else to be a crime. Amen. Amen. And it should be like both sides as well. That's the biggest thing I think is missing from a lot is, and that's why I like American Holocaust, because it specifically looks at the difference in almost like the difference in reporting. It's like, you know, you see both sides of it. No, it's very fascinated by literary works. I write short stories as inspiration for all of my music. Oh, wow. I mean, you might have a very interesting potential companion piece, Akiyet, by investigating something like that. I'm excited to get to hear some of your new project. Whenever it's ready, we're here for it. All right, let me see if I can save all these tabs. No, it's fine. It's like when it's out there, when it's ready, we can we'll all be able to enjoy it. Yeah, of course, of course. All right. Well, Akit, I'm going to take a 5-minute break here. I'm going to take 5-10 minutes, run to the bathroom, take care of my dog. I got to make sure she doesn't go to the bathroom. She's had some digestive issues lately, and I don't want to wait too long. But when I come back, I'm going to be playing Destiny. So if you want to hang out through playing Destiny, sounds like you're a fan of Destiny as it is. You're more than welcome to hang out. If not, if you want to just talk writing and come back, I'm doing the writing stuff from 4 to 6. Generally during the week. So cool. Sounds good. I'll be back in a few minutes.